Hello everyone, Krydox here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. I'm particularly excited today because, well, I've got coffee as usual, but we've got Vraux, and guess what we're gonna do with them? We are gonna be making arcade maggots today. We ain't had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days. Anyway, speaking of maggoty bread, we need maggoty Vraux. So, what are we gonna do? We need the maggots, which need the caged Vraux, which we need the honey making recipe. Where's the honey making recipe? Oh, that one. You know, the one that's the symbol of the honeycomb that we need? That's the one. Okay. So we already made the combs, so now we need to make the arcade honeycombs, which is different than like the hydrocarbon combs. Sweet. Okay, so that'll get done, and then when that's done, we'll have the arcade honeycombs, which we can use to produce maggots. Wait, why am I doing this? Oh, because we need the nests. Right. Yes. So the maggots... Stupid Factoriopedia. I don't want Factoriopedia. Yeah, the maggots, I was like, we don't have another recipe yet, do we? Maggots go in to this one with Vraux food and arcade honey barrels. Yeah. Hold on, I will be right back. Okay, we're back. And look at this. We've got ourselves the mod that is going to save our bacon. Because what I want to do is, rather than put Vraux food on... What do these cost? I guess they only cost 50 kilowatts. That's not too bad. Anyway, the Vraux food, I just want to move with a logistic spot. So... we'll request it. We'll request 5 stacks. And then we'll do a provider chest here. And then, how do we do the channel thing? Oh no, I have to remove an icon. What icon do I remove? Probably the copper wire. Alt-C for copper. I can try to remember that. I never use that button. Like, it's once in a very, very blue moon that I use that button. Okay, so then we can go channel 1. And the game crashes. Okay, cool. That's good. Nope, it didn't crash. Oh, okay. Wow, totally thought it was gonna crash there. Channel 1. And then... there we go. Label. A. What happens if we do that? Oh, it just has it up there in the top left. But yeah, basically what'll happen now is we can filter that guy on Vraux food. And then it won't be able to be requested by the rest of the network. You can see here when I highlight it, that passive provider chest doesn't show up. Now, the downside to this mod, at least this was true before 2.0, is that the items would not show up in the network, in any network. Like, it's not anywhere on the list, right? If we search for Vraux food, there's this... where is this? Yeah, there's this one that we're using for the main base. but not this one. So you can't, it does mess with your search, but it's very useful for the reasons we've already talked about. Because now we can just utilize bots for a local train area, and they're not going to share that Vrock food with any other station. Now, we can also use channel, there's only so many channels. There's like a hard cap of like 60. It defaults to 8. I put it to 16. I don't think we're ever going to need more than 16. The only time you need multiple channels is when you've got one next to another one, right? Because we can have a lot of these local channel A, and there can be another channel A right over here, and as long as I don't connect through the middle with channel A, we should be okay. But you know, if you've got higher tier roboports, this was why I needed it in my Bob's playthrough, is because the Bob's roboports, like tier 3 and 4, have these massive areas, and so even if you wanted just one network per city block, the city blocks would have had to have been massive for that to work. Otherwise, they overlap into each other. So anyway, I am going to need to go fetch a couple logistics bots, though, for this to work. And I should probably start carrying a few around now that this is something I can do. And like we've talked about, this is also going to be how I end up doing the bot mall. It will be on its own channel, so that, again, we don't want any global provide or request for logistics bots. Okay, so let me grab those 30. And then I guess that's all I need for right now. Looks like I need lead. Probably because once upon a time I crafted a bunch of whatchamacallits? Tanks. Where is the lead? Oh yeah, it's down. Okay. Back to business. Back to the arcade. Actually, before we go back to the arcade business, why don't I grab a few more arcades? And combs. I should grab a few more combs. By the way, brain storage going well. Seems to be functioning. Alright, current arcade levels. We got 2 more. I might as well wait around. We're about to have a third. Do we have enough automation science? 2.2 thousand. Yeah, I think we have enough. Alright, here we go. Give me those arcade eggs. Slimy, yet satisfying. And I'm gonna grab more pipes, since we're running low on those. Oops. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, and then back down to the arcade farm we go. Where we will need... Sorry, drinking my coffee. We forgot something. We forgot the thing we just talked about, which was the combs. And those are what, like up here? 77 combs? That's a good number. Wait, we're out of creosote? Wait, why am I dumping... Oh, that's muddy sludge. Oh. I just connected that to muddy sludge. This is creosote. LOL. That's funny. They look so similar, I didn't even notice. In fact, are they the same icon? Is there even a tinting difference on muddy sludge versus creosote? Muddy sludge might be a hair darker, like at the, especially at the bottom of it, but they are very similar. I feel like that could be improved. Definitely could be improved. Alright, well anyway, this will keep making combs. But 84 is a good start. Because they do mostly recycle. How much do they recycle though, exactly? I don't know. Wait, this is confusing. Wait a second, hold on. The honeycombs recycle 100%. But to get the honeycombs, I need wax. And to get the wax, the only way I can do it is the used combs. I mean, obviously I could remelt down the arcade empty honeycombs, but I don't think that's a good idea. Because 50 wax doesn't make... that's a non-lossy process, actually, as long as you use hot air. 100 goes to 10, and 5 went to 50, so that's just a way to recycle it or repurpose. But the used combs also make 10 apiece. But 10 doesn't make empty combs. There's no hot air plus wax to make 10 empty combs. So, what am I trying to say? I don't really know. Don't really know what I'm trying to say. Oh, that's right. Because the arcade nest needs an empty comb. So this is losing us wax on every loop where we make an arcade nest. We do get the used comb back, but the used comb doesn't recycle into the full amount. That's so annoying. I wonder if you can use productivity. Doesn't look like you can. There's no affected by productivity at the top. That's a bummer. So we're gonna have to be creating combs. I think I will do the Tufra thing. I won't need to do it right now, but probably long term I'll use Tufra to bring in sugar or sugary wax or whatever. Okay, so anyway, we've got a couple more bees. Let's throw them in there. And then we've got arcade honeycombs. And now we need some Vrauk caging. And that's for the wax. Let's get these all hooked up. Okay, so I think we're doing it. Arcade maggots. Wow, is this a long recipe? 70 seconds? But it's a 0.5 crafting speed. Yeah, that's a long recipe. But it makes 30 maggots per run here. Okay, and then once we have that, then we can finally make arcade nests. God, there's so many different recipes. And none of that is the recipe to try to make queens, and none of that is the normal recipe to grow up arcades, which is this one. There's like 5 different recipes that you get. This is, no wonder it's complicated. No wonder it's freaking complicated. And none of that is the queen egg laying recipe. If you count that one, that's really 7 recipes. Goodness. Goodness gracious. Arcad honey barrel. And to do that, we take the comb, we squeeze the comb in a centrifuge, which we can make. And that gets us basically 1 barrel per honeycomb. But then we have to barrel it. And then once we've barreled it, we can send it over. In this case, I find it slightly annoying that you have to barrel it, just because the place that you make it is often going to be right next to the place that you need it, so it feels like we could just send it through pipes. But, you know, sending honey through pipes doesn't happen that often in real life factories either, but, you know. So for right now, we don't want all the eggs to go to maggots, right? In fact, that's all eggs can do. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only recipe that exists for it. So that's where all the eggs go. And then we've got maggots. Then we get some used combs back. So what's the ratio of used comb that we get back? So for every cycle of 30 arcade eggs, we use 5 of the honeycombs, and we only get 5 used combs, which gives us, I think, 40 wax back. If I can... Oh my god, I cannot do all the hotkeys right. It is weird to me that the escape key sometimes doesn't exit Helmod and sometimes does. Look at that. It's exiting Helmod right now. But then sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so I'm not crazy. That really makes me feel validated. I thought I was going nuts, but the escape key does usually work. But sometimes, like if I hit the E key to open my inventory, first of all, it takes me hitting E twice. If I hit E once, nothing happens, but now the escape key doesn't escape Helmod. Now if I hit E twice to open my inventory, the escape key does exit. Now if I hit it 3 times, the escape key doesn't exit. Okay, we got some weird business going on there. It's not just me. That makes me feel a lot better. Anyway, the used combs melt down at 10 each. And these combs only take 10 each. Wait a second, I'm confused again. Where's the loss? Used comb melts back down. Okay, so this is not a lossy process. I'm so confused. Why do I keep thinking there's loss in this process? 5 used comb melts down into 50 wax. Oh, it's to make the empty comb. I'm sorry. But do we need to make the empty comb? Oh, now I'm getting real confused. We need to make the empty comb for the arcade nest. The maggots then... Yeah, sorry, it's this step. This empty comb is lossy. Okay. So once we send the maggots into a Vrauk to feast on the flesh, that needs an empty comb, and that empty comb is the lossy process. And then we do get, when we consume it, we do get a used comb back, but the empty comb cost us 12.5 wax, and we only get 10 wax back. So we lose 2.5 wax. We lose about 1/5 of the comb wax, you know, budget every time we do an arcade nest. But the maggots are not a lossy process, weirdly enough. Okay, I think I'm slowly grasping these ideas. Very, very slowly. Okay. Alright, so that'll make more honeycombs over there. But wait, I need some of the combs. I need some combs for arcad nests. I need some of these over here as well. And then we need arcad honey barrels, so I do need the centrifuge. Not a centrifugal pan. I need a centrifuge. It's weird that those are pronounced differently. And we spin the honey. Like spin the bottle, but you know, it's a bottle full of honey. And then we have got more Vrauks show up in so many places too. We got Vrauks as modules, we got caged Vrauks, we got Vrauks being nests. So now I need to uncage some Vrauks because I have too many. Goodness. What is the world coming to? Okay. So we'll grab some of these. So wait, what is it? It's a Vrauk for every 3 maggots. And then it's a Vrauk for every 5 maggots. So every 15 maggots would be 5 plus 3. Every 15 is 8. Every 15 maggots is 8 Vrauks. That's a lot of Vrauks. And then we need 100 nests on average. Fed into this recipe. I don't even know what's real anymore. Okay, so we need channel A. Oops, sorry, requester. Channel A. And then you're gonna request Vrauk food. 30. Drop a couple bots in here. And somehow they know. Oh, no, never mind. No, they don't. There we go. Now they know. So wait, what happens if I drop a bot here? Will it go... Is it on channel A or... No, it's on channel 0. Uh-oh. Okay, that's a good thing to know. If bots are flying overhead and you do this drag and drop thing, it will change the bot's network. Otherwise, they will not be a part of the network you drop them in. So what that means is to make them part of the A network, I'm guessing you can place them directly into here, and then they will become a part of the A network. Yeah. So to have bots be a part of the different force, you place them directly in. Okay. So there's that. And then we need the maggots. Maggoty bread. We ain't had nothing but maggoty Vrauks for 3 stinking days. Alright, and then we centrifuge out some honey. And then we need a barreler. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be a nightmare to like automate properly. This is gonna be a lot to automate properly. So there's that. We'll feed a few of those in. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what's happening anymore. But we made some arcad honey. And now I can barrel it. And now we've got our first arcad nest going. Officially? Jeez. My goodness. And even once we've got a queen, we need to make more queens. And there's a chance, I've read about this happening to people. There's a chance you lose your first queen before you get another one. Because on average, they don't make infinity more, you know, they do die out after 1,000 cycles. Which is 15,000 Arcad eggs is the average production of one Arcad queen. And 15,000 eggs, we already determined we needed 500 of those to make another queen. So, like, it should be okay, but there's a chance in there, you know, that a queen dies out in that life cycle before you get to having a second queen. And then you woe the day that you were born, because that just really sucks for you. Okay, and so this is gonna make the nest, and then once we have the nest, we feed that into this one. Oh my gosh. Which also needs Arcad honey and natural gas barrels. Okay. So then the natural gas barrels need to be over here. And then that needs to be a pipe connected to... Oh, I didn't request the nat gas? Shoot. Request that now. Guess I can just do this. That down. And then... Of course it's one tile off. Are you kidding me? One tile? That's so crazy. And this is one tile off from connecting that way. That's really funny. For how long they are being off by one tile in multiple senses is hilarious. Okay, so there's the nat gas, the Arcad honey barrels. I'm just gonna glom off of this one. What a mess. What a freaking mess. Honey is messy, so, you know, that just makes sense. And then the caged Vraux are needed. Where are they even needed? They're needed for maggots growing up, which also needs honeycombs. So the honeycombs are needed in two places. Which, if I'm smart, yep, we can get it hooked up like that. Oh my goodness, there's a lot going on here, y'all. I don't know if my brain can handle it. Okay, I definitely need some more initial combs just to be able to run everything. And we also need to go grab whatever arcads we've built up over time. Oh, there comes the natural gas. It's very satisfying to see the train network working properly. It really is. Ooh, new glass processing. That's good. We've needed to upgrade our glass for a very long time. Okay, so I'm grabbing... I don't even know. Probably need, yeah, small parts. I just had a sense we needed more. We'll grab the arcads. We'll grab... I feel like there was something else I wanted to... Was it more cages? No, more Vraux. That's what I was thinking. Okay, there's 4 more arcads. That's a good start. And I want to grab more Vraux if we can muster them. They're going to be way down here. We only have 46. And we still haven't seen a Vrauk Mark II. What are we at? We're at 92 products, so we're halfway to the expected value of 200. And then do I need 2 to get this going, or do we just need 1? We just need 1. Okay, and it's guaranteed. There's no 99.9% or something stupid where we have a chance to fail. Once we've got our first one, then we can just reproduce them. And on average, we get 1.5 out for every cycle of this. And then once we've got a bunch of Vrauk Mark IIs... Wait. Okay. That's kind of... No, sorry, we do need 2 of them. I lied. Sorry, that... I didn't see that also needs Vrauk Cocoon Mark IIs. Right. This is the growing up Vrauk Mark IIs. This is the reproducing Vrauk Mark IIs, which does have a chance to fail. Oh my god, imagine if you failed. But you only need like 2 successes on average. Yeah, 4 to 7. Yeah, on average you only need 2 successes. So there's about a 2% chance. So 2 out of 100 people that play this roulette are very sad. And we could be one of those 2. Anyway, I grabbed the Vrauks. I need more small parts. How about ACIs? Yeah, a little bit. Probably some circuits too. And what a crazy game we are playing. I love it. I love it so much. 137 hours. Ooh, a train slowdown. That's fun to watch. Don't see that very often. Traffic. It will become increasingly common. Once science is on trains, we're gonna see a lot more train movement. Right now, a lot of stuff that's on trains is backing up and stays backed up, but that will not last forever. Okay, so what percentage of the Vrauks go to caged Vrauks to feed eggs versus live Vrauks to feed maggots? I mean, the caged Vrauks are live too, but you get what I'm saying. So this is where 1 Vrauk goes to, or I should say 5 Vrauks goes to every 15 eggs. And then 15 maggots only need 3 Vrauks. So the maggots need slightly fewer. So the ratio is 3 to 5. So if I have 8 Vrauks, 5 go in here, 3 go in here. Interesting. And then the nest gets output. Put those on A. Copy that in. So we'll just move the nests over with bots because, I don't know, that's cool. There's natural gas barrels. And then we need the honey barrels over there as well. Honey barrel don't give a hoot. Alright. Well, here we go. Our first gamble for Queen has begun. Goodness. Now, we need the queen. Yeah. Wait. hold on. Hold on, I'll get there. I've forgotten... Oh my god. What is wrong with me? We can make more arcads. But we can't make more eggs. Okay, so I think that's where my confusion came in. We don't need a queen to grow eggs up into arcads. We do need a queen to make eggs, which are needed for any of this loop to ever sustain itself. Okay, so that kind of explains why I was confused. Was it last episode or episode and a half ago where I was like, wait, we need 50 of these? It's because we need a queen to get the egg loop going, but we don't need a queen if we have a bunch of eggs to just grow them up into arcads. Because the nest, which is 5 maggots, so 10 maggots will grow up into 5 to 10 arcads. Got it. And we can do that already if we wanted to. But I think I'll have enough arcads just from the cDNA recipe. I think I'm gonna spend all of my maggots on re-rolling for queen. Okay. So then we need an alarm here. Queen. Greater than 0. What if we just get it on the first try? I think we're going to. We're due for some luck, right? Let's get that 1%. Let's get that 1%. Come on. The other night I was playing Path of Exile 2 and I was just talking on the Discord about how I hadn't seen a perfect Jeweler's Orb since tier 3 maps, and then literally like 20 minutes later one of them dropped. So, you know, I just feel like if you say it, it speaks it into existence and it will happen. So this is going to be an Arcad Queen on our first roll. You know, 1 out of 100 Pi players get an Arcad Queen on their first roll. How it works. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. You can do it. I don't think it did it. Well, that's just a disappointment. Is there a way I can... I guess I can do that. Honey barrel. Put 5 over there. Okay. Make sure everybody's got barrels. Now, what are we missing? Actual honey? Oh my goodness. I don't even know what's going on at this point. Nor do I have any idea what the ratios should be of like how many arcads should be in each one. Obviously, I want to fill all of them, but... Are we just busy with trains? Is that what's happening? No. We're fluid train stuck. Oh. It's for a good reason. Okay, the easy way to solve this is we grab one of the little tanks and we void a little bit here. There we go. Okay. So now that should actually work properly. Goodness. Krydex. Ridiculous. Okay, and then these are just making filled combs, which we need to make the initial wax loop. No. Well, yes. Wait. Couldn't I just put all of those into here? Which will also support the wax loop? Oh man, now I've confused myself. Because these are eventually going to become used combs, which do get melted back down after this step. Yeah, we've got used combs here. So I guess technically I don't need to do this step anymore. Is this wasting resources? That's the real question. Because I'm taking an empty comb and I'm ending up with a used comb either way. And creating the empty combs is a lossy process. So yeah, I should stop with this. Maybe I'll do one or two more just because we have the tall oil anyway already here. And we do need a decent amount of honey barrels floating around here. What a crazy process. And then we've still got more of these if we need them. I'll just put them down so they're here. Goodness. Okay, that one is disconnected because we're not on channel 1 like we should be. Oh, there's 15 used combs. So I could do a requester on used comb. And then that on channel 1. Okay, so then we head back, go grab some more arcads. I'm gonna get some more arcads crafting at this point. Because honestly, we need to keep the train rolling until the Arcad's queen is born, and even at that point, there's still a chance of failure, but I think I will hold my breath at least once we've got the queen until we see if the queen succeeds in producing another queen, and that's when we can finally probably breathe easy. At that point, the chance of failure plummets down to, you know, a percent of a percent levels of chance. So once we've got 2 queens, I think we can probably breathe easy. But I have read a story. I'm pretty sure I read about someone who had 2 queens and still lost them. So it is possible, but it's extremely unlikely. And I might be making that up. Maybe that never happened. I don't know. But if it has happened, it's probably only happened to like 1 Pi player ever kind of odds. So it's not very likely. All right, Arcad Codex to 36. That's 6 more. 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. So there's 10 more. How did that work out so perfectly? I don't even know. Maybe I had 6 stacks of tinned cable and that just happens to math out properly? I don't know. That was kind of serendipitous. And we used exactly 300 circuits? Or 600 circuits? Oh my god, 600 circuits. That's so much. What else did those use? Lamps, 10 cables, circuits, and glass. Okay, that was it. And now we need some cDNA, so I just got enough for 10, so we need 30 more cDNA. And then let's see, that goes where? Goes in here. 30 cDNA goes with 50 biosample. Whoa, we are using most of our biosamples. Probably 4 cDNA. This is all still running, right? Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that's not like slowing down or anything. And then we need 10 more generic Earth DNAs. There's that. Still feel like I haven't done the counting right here. So I'm gonna put 30 more in there. That means we need 6 more in here. I'm only crafting enough for 4 more. Yeah, I think I have too much cDNA going on here. It's 23. I think those are wait. 23 times 3 is 69. So no, those aren't lined up count-wise. We have too much DNA sample in here. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so we've got 30 backed up there. So we need 6 backed up here, so I actually have 1 too many. So there's 7 more. Oh, but we do need 1 extra in here, actually. Because when this one is done making, this one still has 1 more to go. So that actually should be 1 greater. Okay. 5 in there, 1 in there. That's how we do it. 5 in here. 1 more in here. Okay. And then we've got 1 more set coming, and then we'll be done with that. And then that's another 11 arcads, which again is a good chance at a queen. Each one of these gives me 2 rolls of 1%. 2 dice rolls. Alright. We'll get there eventually. Uh-oh. Why did this stop? Why did this stop? Why did this stop? Why did this stop? Coal dust is not being consumed. Why is coal dust not being consumed? That's a new thing. That's new. We should be deleting coal dust. What's happening? Are we not using enough power? Oh. I think I know what happened, and I don't totally understand why it happened. Probably because we don't have a buffer tank. The molten salt, because we were topping up into the molten salt, the cold molten, I should say cold hot molten salt. But then something got backed up with that. Even though we were only doing top up, which should have meant it's not possible. I think because of all the buffers in the buildings, something went awry. So if we were to... Yeah, because that was only topping up to 20, but now we have too much regular hot molten salt. So if I put this here, it should fix the issue. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That was weird for sure. But it's just because the pipeline wasn't beefy enough to handle the different buffers of things, I guess. And that makes sense. We've got 4,000 buffered in here, so I probably should have had a tank. But yeah, now this, I'm gonna top up to only 10 at most, because we've got plenty of hot molten salt already, so we don't need much more. We mainly had done that just because of the hot air setup, even. I'm not really worried about that. Okay, there we go. So now we're cooking again, and that burns the coal dust at a very high clip. Okay, coal dust, burning, fixed. Now, did I finish putting all the arcade codices in there? I did. Okay, good. So that means I can go back to here. Face the correct direction on the train tracks. See, it's annoying, the symbols aren't here, but like when you go back in, it resets it every time. It resets the zoom and it resets the icons you have selected. And that is kind of annoying. Wait, it didn't reset that time. That's odd. Because I feel like I've already... Because I turned train signals off. Maybe train signals it auto turns on. No matter what. Well, now it's not. I swear... Maybe it... When you load the game, it resets? Because I swear it was resetting that. We'll see if that continues through save and load. Or I've just gone crazy, which is very possible. Okay, so I think I'm done doing the filled comb with that method. So I'm done with this one. And I need more Ulrichs. That should be easy enough to manage. As far as mischief managing goes. Just feed Ulrichs directly in. Here's another empty comb for you. We need my goats. We'll have the bots do that work. So we've got 100 caged Raux to 60. Wait, that's perfect. 5 to 3. Wow. I mean, we've got a few more than that, but like 5 to 3 is the ratio we need, so that works out perfectly. Wait. Where are all 5 of the bots? Wait, is that 5 bots? Oh my gosh. So they don't do the thing where they stream out 1 per tick? That is 5 logistics bots. All in the exact same square. Like doing the exact same behavior. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I kind of don't like that. I like the vanilla method where they stream out 1 per tick so that you can actually tell there's multiple. I don't know if that's a Pi thing. I don't know if Pi can control that or not. But that actually is kind of a downside that you can't tell. I think it just creates confusion. Okay, so I'm apparently not feeding the empty combs back into there from the centrifuging, which we need to be doing. Because this is just a closed loop. I shouldn't need any extra... Okay, a nest only takes 90 seconds to make, but it takes 140 seconds to process. So that means I should have more in this one. Because I process 1 nest at a time. Okay. We do need more honey. Seems like honey might be the slowdown at the moment. So that's where more of my arcades can go. How do I... Do I still only have that many? I felt like I had more than that at this point, but maybe not. Okay, so... Now what? Now we need to switch this over to making regular combs. Because I think we have enough. In fact, we probably have too many at this point. Empty honeycombs. Yeah. Okay, so 3 of those takes 100 seconds, and we need 1 only to make a nest, and then we need 5 to process that nest. So we need 6 per nest. So this needs to run twice, and it's a 100-second recipe. So this one needs twice as many as this one. And this one also needs about twice. So actually, these ratios are roughly correct. At least within, you know, a doubling order of magnitude. An order of binary magnitude. Order of magnitude usually means a multiple of 10, which I think we're closer than that. I think we're within a multiple of 2, which is good enough for me. Okay, so yeah, at this point, I probably spent too much wax making empty honeycombs. And the empty honeycombs never get turned back into wax, as far as I'm aware. But these ones do. Yes, these ones get turned back into used combs, which then, you know what? I should probably make these buffer chests, because then they can request and provide, right? That's the other problem. When you change it to network A, or 1, I don't know why I'm using letters and numbers. It doesn't need a label. When you go to channel 1, it can't be quick replaced. You know, normally you could do that, but you can't. Because we're not force A. You can't even super force build over it. That's really interesting, actually. Ho. I mean, it makes sense, because you can't super force build over your teammates' stuff. But it's also very interesting that that's how that works. Very good to know that that's how it works. Are there any other settings, by the way? I didn't look at all the settings for logistic network channels. Channels require research. Yeah, I don't want that. Per player, is there anything? Show channel info on hover. Yeah, I also want that turned on. Okay. And the other setting in the middle category was just how many channels are there, and I set that to 16. So anyway, it seems like things are good to go for now. Wait, no, they're not. I still did this wrong. I need to be doing this. The buffer needs to be on this, on the empty side, not on the full side. There we go. Okay, so 1 more honeycomb, then we make 5 barrels, which is enough to feed these guys for a bit. Then we need 6. For every one of these. So, but this is only 140-second time, so this probably could use a few less than this one. And this is a 90-second time. And we only need this to run once for every 2 sets of this. So this should have about half as many as this. So I probably should have 1 more in here, actually. Or something. Okay, but as far as everything else, I think this is going to run just fine. We are going to run out of empty combs eventually. Because like we said, every time we use 10 of these, we only get 8 back. So that is a bit lossy. And the used combs are going into there. where they then... I'm wondering if there's a way in the editor mode to place it as the other player, but I would have to turn off lab mode, which is kind of annoying. So I guess in case of emergency, we could try that though, because when you go into regular editor mode rather than the lab surface, I think you can change what force you're placing buildings as. So if we needed to quick replace like a whole row of, you know, something, we could try that. But for now, we'll just have to live with it or deconstruct it and reconstruct it. Can you copy from one force to another? You can. So that works. So then if I do this, wire that back up, change it to channel, and we should be okay. And that's where the used combs go. Oh, and then this needs to be kicked. In case of queen. Break glass in case of queen. Now, does this copy? Oh, it even copies the channel. Now, that's important to know. Shift right click, shift left click also changes the logistic network channel. Okay. We just need to make sure we're on the ball with all that stuff, because if we screw it up, there could be disastrous consequences. Now or even down the road. Okay, this is the one that we just need to keep feeding maggots. Oh, and we need honeycombs for this. I keep forgetting about that. Goodness. So we don't just want all the honey. This one will back up eventually, but it'll take forever. Uh-oh. I forgot we needed honeycombs for maggots too. So for every 30 maggots, we need 5 more honeycombs, which is another 5. Well, it's kind of like 2 more recipes of that need to happen for every 6 of these. So this needs to go another third faster is kind of what that calculates out to. Oh goodness. Are we on a chunk border? No. So those inserters, I don't know if they take turns out of a chest, actually. I don't know how that works. I'm gonna steal these real quick so that they're both hungry. And we're gonna see when this finishes. Do these inserters take turns? Well, I guess it's easier if I just do it like this. I didn't learn what I wanted to learn. Sorry, what I mean to do is this, if I put them in one at a time. They are taking turns. Beautiful. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Obviously, if there's an even number in there, but if they're fed in one at a time by this inserter, will that end up working out? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Still no queen. We've had 2 failures. That's not surprising. The average player will have 99 failures before they get a queen. They got 99 problems. And the median player... Wait, how does this work again? We talked about this in the Space Age playthrough, and my brain's already forgotten. The expected value is 100, but the median value I think is less than 100. Because if you think about how that distribution is skewed, there's, you know, people can get 10,000 rolls and still no queen. Like that's possible. Now, that's not very, the chance is very low. The weighting of that option is very low, but it is possible. And so for the average to be at exactly 100, the median has to be lower. Like it's left skewed. You know, if you think about the bell curve, it's like, okay, you're really unlikely to get it after 1. Well, what am I trying to say? It's like your chance to have gotten it, well, no, that's not the, more just like, what am I trying to, what would the curve, basically the curve looks like this, is what I'm getting at, but like, the curve of what? The curve of, I don't even know exactly what I'm saying. The relative chance to get it after that many rolls. There's a really low chance it would take you. Yeah, it's more just like the chance for any specific amount of rolls. Like the chance to get it after 1 roll, the chance to get it on exactly your second, the chance to get it on exactly your third. No, because that would just look like this. Because technically the chance is highest on your first roll. The chance to get it on exactly your second. And I don't want the cumulative distribution function. If you're thinking he wants CDF, the chance to get it on your second roll or sooner. That's not what I want either. What I'm thinking about is the distribution of players. Like if you had 10 billion players and you pulled each of them, how many times did it take you before you got your Arcad Queen? Then what would the distribution of that players be? That's what we're talking about here. I finally figured it out. So then there would be so many players, you know, exactly 1% of them would have gotten it in 1 roll. And then there would be so many players that got it in 2 rolls. And then there would be so many players that got it in 3 rolls. And so many that got it in 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 100, 150, 200. Some players it took 379, you know, like. And then the median of all of those players, I think, is going to be less than 100. Because if I pop open, you know, my browser calculator here, and I take 0.99 to the 100th power, that's saying I've failed 100 times in a row. There's only a 36% chance that that happens. So only 1 in 3 players is going to still not have a queen after 100 rolls. So that means it's such a weird idea, but the average player, so let me play with the numbers here. Ooh, I got it right on the first try. 70. I don't know why I chose 70, but it just felt right, and it was right. I guess 69 is actually closer. Perfect. 69. So after 69 rolls, the chance that you have a queen, or sorry, the chance that you don't have a queen is 0.4998. So basically exactly 50%. So the 50-50 line is at 70 rolls. Half of the players have gotten their queen by then, half of the players haven't. Even though the expected number of rolls is 100. Isn't that so weird? So like, every player goes into rolling expecting their expected number of rolls needed is 100, but there's a 50% chance that they get it by 70 rolls. Isn't that such a weird... Statistics is... Well, I guess that's not statistics. That's more probability. They are closely linked fields, but anyway. I just think that's such an interesting thing, and we need to be done with this episode, so we'll probably call it there with that math finale. But yeah, that means, hey, you know, if we're the median player, we'll have it by 70 rolls instead of 100. If we're the average player, we'll have it by 100 rolls, and if we're the Krydax player, it'll take us 200. So anyway, we'll call it an episode there. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.